This is your aura. A beautiful reflection of all that you are.
Hey everyone, I am Maps Maponyane, and I am thrilled to be here with Lenovo for my Smarter Stories Masterclass. And as someone who juggles a few different hats, literally and figuratively, I know just how important it is to stay connected, efficient, and inspired in everything that you do. So this is going to be something that complements those various hats, but also can help you bring it into your own world. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, a media personality, a bit of a fashion geek as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm also a massive tech enthusiast. And today, of course, we're talking tech, we're talking AI, we're talking ways to improve the efficiency of how you run your life, how you run your career. And we'll go into that a little bit later on. I want to talk about something that's been a huge part of my journey, building a personal brand and what feels authentic, impactful, and future-proof. And in today's world, your brand is more than just your logo, your Instagram bio, or your job title. But because of those kinds of things, I mean, merely just having Instagram or social media just to begin with, you're automatically a public-facing figure. You're automatically a celebrity because you are out there. Whatever you put out now can be spread to millions of people, and that can be out of your control once you press that send button. And you can get known and go viral overnight over one small interaction that you put out on social media. So our personal brands have become more important than ever. It's so important that you then have a clear, authentic, enticing, maybe even for some people exciting, if that's your personality, voice that people can identify with, or that aligns with your morals and your values and the story that you choose to share with the world. I always try and imagine it in a way where we are all, with our various profiles on social media, we now are all these front-facing billboards. If you imagine a billboard on the highway and everyone is going past this billboard, thousands of people on a daily basis. I mean, typical highway in South Africa has an excess of 150, 200,000 people passing billboards. You need to think about whatever you put out there, would I want it to be on that billboard? People think as soon as they have social media and whatever they post, it's just for them. It's never going to get out. It's never going to be seen by other people, even if you perhaps find your social media insignificant or, I just have a few followers. The fact that we can rapidly get that out so quickly to so many different places, to so many different people, and do that in a flash, that real-time kind of access then makes you this billboard that is out there to always be seen. And so you always have to think, what do I want to have on that billboard? And am I proud of what's on that billboard? Does it put my best foot forward? And, is this something that is then benefiting me in the long run? So this is my Lenovo Smarter Story. And I'm hoping that you can think about a few of those things as we go through it. So to tell that story properly, you need the right tools. And I have got this beautiful tool in front of me. It's the Lenovo ThinkPad Aura X9 Edition. The X9 Aura Edition is something that I have been using for quite a while now since it's come out. And I've played with many ThinkPads and have had in the past. And I think it's, the most important thing has been, how do you use, with a life like mine, probably lives like yours, when you have a life that's on the go, that requires you to be on your laptop as much as possible, how do you use that as efficiently as possible? And this beauty right here in front of me is that device that, for me, keeps all of that on track. It's more than just a device. It's a productivity partner. It's built to keep up with everything I do, from script writing to meetings to creative direction to content generation, whatever it might be. And I'm able to do that all from this one simple device without breaking much of a sweat at all. So I think I want to go into the first segment of it all, which is kind of like the power of storytelling. Now, with the age of AI that we're in, it's unavoidable, and it's not here to take over humans. And I think with storytelling, we can, use that to create any great brand. I think if you look at a lot of brands, products, whatever you are interested in and whatever does well these days, the best brands in the world, it doesn't matter. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but it matters a whole lot less now how great the brand is, but a whole lot more is how good they tell the story of that brand or how good they tell the story of that product. And that's how you need to perceive yourself and how good and how well you're able to tell your own story. Because the story that you build is what builds trust, and it creates emotion, and it sets you apart from anything and anyone else. Whether you're pitching to investors, launching a product, or applying for a new job, your personal brand is how you show up in the world. And for me, my brand is rooted in authenticity, curiosity, and entrepreneurship. But it took time to shape that identity and be intentional about it. And that's also a really key word, being intentional about it. Whatever you do, whatever you decide to do, whatever direction you decide to go in, you have to be intentional about it, because that reverberates, echoes, and resonates in more ways than you would imagine across your entire world. So what I want you to think about today is this: what do you want to be known for? Your personal brand is your story, as I've said. So it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. And the good news is that you have the power to shape it. Some people may let go of that power, put their hands up and say, oh no, I wasn't in control of what I had put out. And we now realize that no matter what you put out when you did a while ago and thought it wouldn't continue to follow you, you've left a digital footprint that can always be accessed, that can always, take you down this rabbit hole that can look pretty negative on you if you've been putting things out that are not representative of who you are. So it's really important, again, going back to the intentionality of how you position that so that you're able to tell that consistent and authentic story about who you are that, again, aligns to your morals and your values. So I'm going to start with a quick little brand exercise in using AI and some great power tools. And I'm going to use it on this ThinkPad X9 Aura Edition laptop that I'm on. And it's a little quick exercise, and I want us to kind of co-create a brand prompt together. And I'm going to do that on the Microsoft Copilot. So if you look at the screen behind me, I'm going to think about how and I kind of pre-typed it here. And the prompt I wanted to give it was exactly this. So I wanted to write us a short, captivating brand story for a young entrepreneur in the wellness space, focusing on their journey and purpose. And the great thing about AI now is that, you can obviously make this prompt whatever's most relevant to you in your life. But the fact that with Microsoft Copilot and with AI-generated LLM, large language model, now AI, you're able to generate whatever you desire. And this is a lovely story that this is able to then save you tons of time on, and within seconds, it just immediately comes up. It's a lightning fast prompt that gives us a story that you can embellish in all kinds of different ways. And I'm sure each of you have used AI in various ways and have used different AI tools to be able to do so. But if you haven't, this is one of the great things that AI can do for you. And you can just apply it to whatever most relevant part of your life that makes the most sense. So what I love about these AI tools is how they become your creative partner, not your replacement. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that still brings the magic, but the machine helps you amplify it. And it also saves you a lot of time. So it doesn't mean that now you copy paste whatever you've just created. It can just help you fast track whatever you're trying to develop, whatever it might be, a concept that you might need assistance on. Again, this kind of story, something that you're trying to figure out for yourself. In fact, something as literal with great prompts of, if you are an X kind of person who's interested in this and that, wants to go into this field, how are the best ways that you can position yourself? And AI these days has the ability to do that. And it's something that you can simply do on this wonderful ThinkPad as well, using Microsoft Copilot. So I want to now kind of try another prompt so you can see exactly what I mean by being able to create that personal brand kind of statement. So got another prompt that I wanted to put in here, and I'm going to type it in. I'm going to ask the Copilot to help me write a personal brand. So write a personal brand statement. I can maybe add a little bit more to that. So maybe let me say, for an entrepreneur who values community, creativity, and innovation. And now I'm going to generate that. So here's the personal brand statement. I think it's quite a good one. I'm a passionate entrepreneur dedicated to fostering meaningful connections and driving change through creativity and innovation. My mission is to empower communities by creating inclusive spaces where ideas thrive and visions become reality. With every project, I aim to ignite inspiration, push boundaries, and deliver impactful solutions that transform lives. And together, we build a future fueled by collaboration, creativity, and bold innovation. And I think something like that is just a beautiful, strong message that if you put out as a statement and you put out to the public as, you know, the kind of person that you might be, obviously then add a lot more detail about yourself. It's a great starting point. It's something that really, I guess, frames you in a way that you could be proud of. So let me kind of put it to the floor. I don't know if anyone wants to try or volunteer any kind of other prompts or something that might be on their mind. I got to meet you a little bit earlier. Tando, I can see you're thinking deeply about what you'd want to say.
So I want to see if we can build it up. So it says the expression makes me
Okay, well, look, what field are you in?
I'm in fashion.
You're in fashion.
As well.
Okay, so you're an entrepreneur, perfect. So tell me your 3 brand values and let's build your brand statement together. Okay, so luxury, quiet luxury, okay. And creativity, create a powerful brand statement for her. At the heart of Tando's designs lies a philosophy of quiet luxury, a celebration of understated elegance that resonates with those who value authenticity and timeless beauty. As a fashion designer, Tando is committed to sustainability, crafting each piece with care to honor the earth and inspire conscious choices. Driven by creativity, her designs are a fusion of artistry and innovation, bringing visions to life in a way that redefines modern style. Tando's brand is more than fashion. It's a reflection of purposeful living and the art of storytelling through clothing. That's a pretty beautiful brand set. You took a picture?
Bios.
Beautiful.
Awesome. I like that.
You like that, yeah. So, I mean, that's just the beauty of being able to get in tune with something like Microsoft Copilot and the kind of AI prompts that you can give it to make your life a whole lot more efficient. And I think what I like about that is that, Tando, I mean, you just mentioned all those things about yourself now and the industry you're in and what you've just read and taking a picture because you like it. I think then you can start to understand that if you're intentional about creating like that, doesn't it help give you a clarity of your vision and now be less, I mean, I don't know if you are kind of constantly thinking about where you're going, what you're wanting it to look like. Do you not feel like this is something that can kind of then kind of bring it all towards you and confront you with, okay, this is the direction I want to take and be consistent with that. Tando, for those obviously you're not able to hear, I mean, she's speaking about how it's really making things a whole lot more, a whole lot clearer for her, but also helps her get to that mission statement of her brand in a matter of seconds. She's able to come to that conclusion and is able to have that vision for her brand that is a lot stronger. All right, so in the next segment, I really wanted to talk about your personal style because let's face it, in a world where everyone is trying to look the same, being you is your secret weapon. You may have noticed I have a bit of a thing for hats. I've got all kinds of hats. In fact, I think it's probably a little bit abnormal, but I've got over 350 hats. So it's not particularly typical, but I love hats. And you may have noticed that, you know, I try and find those hats to literally fit a different type of style, different vibe, different personality. And those are the kinds of things that have built my brand. I've brought my love of hats into the person that I am and the person that I project. And it's so great when you're able then to be consistent with those things that you love into your kind of out-facing life. So then you never have to kind of try be anything else. They've become so personal to me as well, and a staple of mine that, makes me think that I wasn't always like this, but over time I realized that they gave me a bit of an identity in different spaces where everyone looks the same and is always appearing in the same way. I have a certain type of hat that for me represents a certain strength about being African. And I would find myself traveling around the world, and you get sucked into this Western idyllic way of looking. And I'd go into these, I guess, powerful spaces that were tough to get into, but everyone kind of had that cookie cutter appearance. And when I was there, being the only African a lot of the time, I also then would, like, as much as I think I would look good, I wouldn't really stand out per se. And this was something where I always wanted to show where I was from, what I was about, and putting Africa and my best foot forward in that regard, to always, be able to show people a reminder of how important it is to show what you're all about. And I remember the first time I went out and just how good I felt and how well that was embraced eventually. It was a bit jarring at first for many, but how for me that mattered so much to be so authentic. And as a result, how that garnered so much interest about ensuring that I'm very intentional and authentic about what I always want to put out there and portray. So I think identity in those kinds of spaces for me is very, very important. And it's become a signature of mine. So style is storytelling in itself. You have to see yourself as the reception that people first kind of encounter when they walk into a building. That space that receives you is that kind of first impression you get. And I think with fashion, obviously the expression that it shows of who we are, it's also the reception of exactly who we are, the people first interact with. And it's the visual part of your brand, and it should make you feel like you. So here's a tip. If you're trying to find your personal style, head over to Pinterest. I imagine some of you use and love Pinterest, and find some tips around there and build yourself a mood board. Don't overthink it. Just pin what you like, and after a while, you'll start to notice certain patterns. And trust me, you'll lean towards the things that, either that you will really love, that represent who you are, or that might surprise you about yourself. But there's also many different kinds of access areas that you can find to be able to build that image. And most importantly, step outside of your comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens. So that's some homework for you when you find a little bit of time to jump into all of that. Now that we've unpacked your personal brand story, let's talk about what people see when they come across your profile. Your visuals matter. Your headshot, banner, fonts, and colors, they all speak for you before you say a word. We live in a digital first world, and being tech savvy isn't optional anymore. You have to ensure that you are on top of that. It is essential, or you'll be left behind. That doesn't mean you need to code or build the next app. It means knowing how to use the tools that elevate your hustle. Today, I'll show you how I bring my brand to life visually using the ThinkPad X9 Aura Edition and my creative sidekick. So I'm going to ask Copilot to generate a prompt for LinkedIn cover image for a content creator who's in tech storytelling. So please, can you create a linked cover image for a content creator who's in tech and storytelling, who's into tech and storytelling. I'm interested to see what this is going to look like. Okay. You can also prompt it to maybe give you a little bit more, depending which direction you want to go into. You can be a little bit more impressionist or photorealistic or whatever it might be to fit that prompt. So now I'm going to ask it to design a bold, modern LinkedIn cover concept. Design a bold, modern LinkedIn cover concept for a tech-savvy storyteller who values creativity, innovation, and connection once again. And that'll take a few seconds. Cool. And that's just again, another cool digital concept. Again, you can obviously ask it to do exactly what you want it to do for yourself. But just like that, it gives me that creative direction and ideas that can bring that can be brought to life just by using the Microsoft Copilot. So there's many different things that you can decide to do. You can also do that with your YouTube highlight videos if you're a content creator. Use it for your podcast covers and different thumbnails, whatever you might want to do. You now don't have to sit for hours trying to be able to create that in a different kind of tool to be able to do it yourself. This can do it in all that time by also uploading that image and then asking for it to be able to combine something else that you want to add to it to obviously entice people a whole lot more to get involved in your different sections. So if you're not the person who has gotten into social media as much as possible or considered building your personal brand as much as you should, especially in the tech and digital space, it's something that I think you need to focus a whole lot more on. And I hope from learning how to create your own personal brand statement, to be able to create your own story that you're wanting to get out there, get involved in using Microsoft Copilot as often as possible. You know, it's your Copilot for a reason. It's your hard drive brain that I guess plugs into you, and you're able to help as an assistant. It's your personal assistant that's able to generate whatever you can think of. And I think it's really important that you start to get a few more ideas and put yourself out there with that. And you never know what might be able to come from it. So I hope this masterclass gave you a little bit of inspiration to go out there and shape your personal brand, tell your story, and do it all with confidence. I really appreciate each of you for coming through. I hope you had a lot of fun. It was quite enjoyable to be able to go through this and have a little bit of a casual session around how each of you view your personal branding and how you possibly could use Copilot and how you can do that on this beautiful ThinkPad X9 Aura Edition. So thank you so much for joining my Lenovo Smarter story. And remember, your brand is your legacy. And with the right mindset and the right tech, there's nothing stopping you. A big thanks to Lenovo and the ThinkPad X9 Aura Edition for making this possible. Let's keep building smarter, sharper, and bolder futures. And thanks for being here. You've got all of this in your hands. You've got the power. It's time to shape your own future.
Lenovo.